Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, this is my workout, after I kicked my own ass tea, even though it's not really tea. But I can't talk. That's how much I kicked my own ass today. Instead of my mug of tea because it's early in the afternoon and laundry day. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, folks, we're going back to that horrible world known as JRC, but before we get going, the usual disclaimers. You are going to see the link to this article right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shops campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, and the templates. Folk, for the love of God, it's April. This goes on the Massachusetts Senate floor in May. For the love of God, sign your name, click on your senator, share it on all your social media. I'm aware that there's a lot of stuff going on in this world, but these kids are still being fucking tortured in that place. And we're all the only fucking hope they've got. Make sure these bastards know Massachusetts has not been forgotten and we are still watching. Also, we have the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, goes without saying, use your headphones, all right? And yes, I was much more coherent yesterday at this time than I am now. I think I may have knocked like a few brain cells out of place during that particular workout, so if I stumble over my words, my apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so we are going back to where we left off yesterday. Let's go, alright? And talk about this like bad acid trip that is the decor of the JRC. Of relevance to this technique is the JRC's monitor room, for which video surveillance of students and staff occurs and is analyzed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because remember, folks, they can't waste one single time of, shocking them to death for, daring to exist. The room is staffed by monitors whose job it is to relay commands to staff through walkie-talkies, instructing them on when to reward or punish students for displaying appropriate or inappropriate behaviors. In an enactment of Foucault's 1977 concept of the panopticon, this monitoring room functions to establish what Foucault calls presences and absences, to know where and how to locate individuals, to set up useful communications, to interrupt others, to be able at each moment to supervise the conduct of each individual, to assess it, to judge it, to cultivate it, its qualities or its merits. Fucking disgusting. It's Big Brother on fucking crack. People will be like, but Tiffany, you don't understand. Don't understand what? That y'all don't think that people with disabilities deserve autonomy, privacy, human fucking decency or rights? Yeah, I got the fucking memo, Karen. Finally, Foucault identifies rank as important to disciplinary institutional spaces. This has been addressed herein already and essentially involves the place one occupies in a classification. Foucault, 1977, p. 145. In the case of the JRC, and historical iterations of the institution from which the JRC draws its structure, this is often determined by gender, age, and perhaps most importantly, label. Oh, we can't forget the fucking labels. See, folks, this is why labels are bad. We live in this world now where all of a sudden everybody wants to slap a label on something. Folks, labels are bad, okay? Labels are bad. Labels are what help us other people. It doesn't bring us together, it separates us. It's basic fucking logic. And the fact that it is an autistic, somebody that you all deem as somebody who's socially inadequate, that has to point it out to you, that it is literally so obvious that we have to be the ones to point this out to you. Just saying. Just saying. Male and female students attend classes together but do not live in the same residences. Students are grouped based on two factors: their newness to the program and their classification as either high or low functioning and as cognitively typical or as autistic-like. Think about that, folks. They're trying to do two things with these fucking labels. And this is why labels are bad, okay? Let me break it down for you. Us versus them. Okay? It's establishing a hierarchy to help underline and emphasize their psychotic fucking structure. If you do whatever the JRC wants, ignore the suffering of the people fucking around you, say only what they want you to say, do whatever they want you to do, if you readily surrender up your autonomy and your privacy, and you act as they think normal teenagers should act, which, by the way, isn't how normal teenagers fucking act. Some of us went to fucking high school. Then you are considered high. If you rebel, if you had been like me and basically walked in there going, fucking deuces, I got your fucking control, well then you would then be low functioning. And how they treat these tiered hierarchies is extremely different. But if you're high functioning, you get all the fucking psychotic perks that they think all teenagers like. By the way, not all autistic teenagers like the shit that these high functioning are gifted. Case in point. But just saying, this is how little they know the people they're actually serving. But I digress. They give them more mature pursuits. As the low functioning, they choose to double down and use the rewards as a means to, again, not only otherize them and separate them out and ostracize them, but also infantilize them. Ball pits. Are you fucking kidding me? But moving on. Alongside the work of Folcott Goffman. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop there. By the way, anybody who thinks neurotypical is the height of functioning on this planet, have you fucking people seen yourselves? You're a goddamn train wreck. I mean, have you seen society lately? You all function on gut reactions and your emotions. You're nothing but reactionary. You do not rely on facts. You never observe evidence. You go along with whatever fucking big media outlet tells you to go with. You're fucking sheep. Emotional, reactionary sheep. You do not use any critical thinking skills. You never do any more research than just reading a fucking paper headline. You never do your due diligence. And yet somehow I'm supposed to want to apply myself to be like that? Nah, nah. I'm good. I'm good. Normal isn't normal. There is, in truth, no such thing as normal. We're all weird as shit in our own way. And at some point, we need to realize this and quit setting up this impossible goalpost for disabled people to reach that you fuckers yourselves who label yourself normal never reach. Just, just saying. Just saying. Alongside the work of Foucault, Goffman, and sociologists and geographers writing about the space of the institution and the amusement park, I draw upon Ahmed's more recent work on space and orientation. Ahmed's 2006 term reorientation has powerful implications for understanding the use of effect of institutional environments and the ways that neurodivergent bodies or minds are oriented, specifically in institutional environments. Ahmed 2006 makes the argument that the body gets directed in some ways more than others, and that some bodies get redirected more than others. The space of the JRC and its effects of the body minds of the inmates is an example. Oh my gosh, I lost myself here. Hold on, guys. We don't have an edit button. Ahmed, 2006, makes the argument the body gets directed in some ways more than others. Some bodies get redirected more than others. The space of the JRC and its effects on the body and minds of inmates is an example of how disabled bodies' minds are redirected to supposedly therapeutic programs that aim to direct them towards more normative pathways of development. Again, I'll say it for everybody. This normal straw man does not exist. It doesn't exist. Not just for autistics or disabled people or people with mental health issues. It doesn't exist for anyone. Have you fuckers looked yourselves in the mirror lately? You're over emotional, reactive, freaking brain dead zombies who believe whatever the media tells you to believe because the media told you to believe it. Your all's reliance on your emotions, which you allow to be manipulated by the media with never even trying or thinking to do your due diligence or use critical thinking skills or even try to look at all ends of a story. Look and observe all evidence. See and get all sides and go from there. And yet, we're supposed to aspire to be like this? Again, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. Ahmed reflects how bodies arrive and how they get directed in this way or that as a condition of arrival, which in turn is about how the in place gets placed. I reflect on what this might mean for the disabled body mind as placed, categorized, and redisoriented in institutional space, and how we can see this exemplified in other kinds of spaces that disorient from the normal body. Disney parks. I wonder how normal and deviant bodies are constantly subject to redisorientation toward and away from another through the management and creation of spaces to control and confine. Exactly. They want to take away our individuality, folks. They want to take away our autonomy. They want to take away any kind of self-reflection upon ourselves. We're just supposed to take their word for it that we are damaged. We must be fixed by any means necessary. No self-acceptance. No growth. No actual fucking development. And this school does everything it can to break apart every single student that walks through its fucking door, destroy them, and rebuild them into this supposed straw man normal, which I tell you now, has caused more PTSD, trauma. Fuck. Let me get into this, because apparently I want to pontificate today. I'll say it again. The JRC is simply the most notorious and uses the most extreme methods towards this idea of making us more normal and socially acceptable. They are by far not alone. That is what applied behavioral analysis is. It's what a lot of other medical interventions are all geared towards. Your autism speaks, your fucking cures, your anti-vaxxist fucking snake oil salesmen making money off their kids' diagnosis. It's all geared towards it. It's all fucking geared towards it. And they use fucking strawmans to do it. Recover your child from autism. Nah. It's this concept of that your kid can be normal when the supposed normal kid isn't fucking normal. Okay? Because guess what? Normal kids get fucking messed up too. I mean, seriously. Come on now. On that note, all I have to say is this idea of normal. When you don't have rose-colored glasses and you can actually look at what they're trying to push us to be like, it makes you wonder why. Because they're pushing you towards a goalpost, an individual they want you to force yourself to be this perfect normal that doesn't exist. Not for anyone. And I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. Do appreciate your time this evening, afternoon, blah. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.